Hello, hello, hello. Let's give it some time. I have to make sure that the live stream is receiving the content. We're all green all the way. We have a couple of people already chatting. I already appreciate the love. Thank you so much. It is my birthday today. Should be celebrating and having some fun, but I'm here working my butt off, try to give you guys some good content. So it is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to give it 1:01 before we start. And we are live. Looks like the channel is receiving the content. Hopefully you guys are able to see me. Again, we are going to start at 1:01. We have a couple of people already in the chat room. And it is 1:01. So welcome everybody to the last episode of the year, Server Room episode 34. Holy moly, 34 episodes. I'm super excited. I'm proud of all of you guys joining me every Saturday. Each Saturday we're learning something new together. So I'm happy. I'm really happy about the show. I think it was very successful. A lot of you guys have provided feedback, negative, positive, everything to make it happen. And season 2 is definitely going to happen next year. Okay, so we are going to go straight into it. So a couple announcements. We have, let me zoom in for you guys. I am going to CES 2018 next, I think it's next week. So hopefully you guys stay tuned and check out all the material that I'm going to be pushing out to the channel. I'm going to be pushing out a lot of stuff. The Server Room TSR season 2, I'm going to definitely move it to Fridays. And the date, I don't know when season 2 is going to happen. A lot of you guys have provided a lot of feedback of what you want to see for the next season. You know, System Center, Service Manager, some Linux. I'm definitely going to start throwing in a little bit network stuff, VMware stuff, Citrix stuff. So season 2 is going to be intense. So, and I'm going to try to push it out on Fridays. Linux Tips Weekly. This is a weekly show that I would like to do for you guys. The show is going to be between, I would say, 30-45 minutes. I don't know what day or date I'm going to pick out of the week, but I shout out a question to you guys at the community tab within the channel. A lot of you guys gave me good feedback, and I'm definitely going to do this. I just don't know what quarter I'm going to do it for 2008. I'm going live again today at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be 3:30-ish because I got to set up, and I'm going to be test driving the ThinkStation P19. So that's going to be a live review. We're going to go over everything, the specs. I'm going to be using the machine itself to live stream everything because the machine is a monster. Definitely the type of machine I would love to have inside the lab to do everything. Top 3 chatters. So hopefully you guys join me around 3:30-ish if you have some time. If you are in an eastern location, it's snowing a lot over here, somewhat snowing. So yeah. So top 3 chatters for last week were these 3 guys right here. Thank you so much for being a chatterbox. Thank you. And the top 3 leaders for the Discord. So we've been having a lot of people from the Discord, and these are the top 3 guys right here. You can't really include me, but these are the top 3 guys right now. A couple of you guys have been promoted to like help desk, system admin, and IT support and stuff. So I do appreciate the love. You know, so thank you, you 3. Appreciate that. And let's discard that. There it goes. Okay. So today's show is all about hosting virtual machines within a Linux environment. Now, I've dealt with hosting virtual machines within a Linux environment, but I dealt with VMware Workstation, but I never actually used the Linux operating system to host virtual machines. And what do I mean? Linux itself has tools or a library that allows you to do virtualization within the operating system. There's no application that you need to install like VM Workstation. There's basically, you go inside the command prompt and you install these tools. These tools are free. That's one of the best things. And you could just start hosting virtual machines. That's so awesome. Now, within the lab that I'm using for today, I'm using Ubuntu version 16.04.3 LTS. I'm using the desktop version. You are able to do the server edition version, but the problem is for this to work correctly, because you're going to be needing the QEMU viewer as well as the Virt viewer, you need to have a desktop interface, okay? Or if you have a server edition, you have to have some way to VNC into your server using a desktop interface. Now, within the Google Doc that I'm going to be providing for you guys, I did provide information on how to install a desktop interface, how to get the VNC. This information, I grabbed it from the last show. I think it was the Server Room episode 32 when we did the whole box thing and how to configure your own home Linux lab. And this command right here will check if your your CPU is supported to do virtual support. Now the cool thing about today is that I'm not doing everything with virtual machine. I'm doing everything inside a NUC. Awesome sauce. Yeah, I took advantage of purchasing a NUC. It was in sale. I said to myself, why not purchase it? It was dirt cheap. I got the i7 7th generation processor. I haven't done a review on it as of yet within the channel, but I'm still playing around with it. So far, I love to have this little box with Linux. I haven't even tried it with a Windows operating system. So I'm running this guy right now on Linux. And I want to show you guys something real quick. I'm going to be I'm going to use TeamViewer to remote into the machine. So I'm going to right click on this and do a remote control. But I want to show you guys that everything is live. I don't want you guys to think that I'm remoting into another machine. I'm remoting into this machine. So I'm doing the remote control. And if everything works well, you see the little guy right here in the bottom. Right here. And I'm moving the mouse. I'm going to give it some time. Awesome. There it goes. If I right click on it, see, right click, everything is live. So it's awesome. Okay. So I'm going to switch back to here so you get a better view. Okay. So everything that I'm going to be doing today is within a physical hardware. I'm using a NUC, an i7 7th generation processor. I'm trying to remember the information of it, but I will provide the information within the Google Doc. Okay, so I'm going to be cheating a little bit because I have my notes already printed out. So if you see me constantly looking down, it's because, you know, I'm getting old and I forget a lot of things. This is the reason why I type everything up, because when you start getting old, you start forgetting things. You start making a lot of mistakes. So the best thing is to what? Write everything down inside of a document, because everything is there and you can always, you know, refer to it. So the first thing that we need to do, I'm going to get inside my little box right here. I'm going to open up our shell command and I'm going to zoom into this. And we need to check if your machine is capable of handling a virtual environment, right? So what we need to do is the following. We are going to do is a egrep and open quotations. We're going to do this. We're going to do, I'm going to move this mouse over, VMX. We're going to pipe it with a CSVM. We're going to close it, close that. We're going to do a proc and CPU info. Now this little command right here will give you the following. If you see VMX right here, this basically means that your machine is capable of handling virtual machines, and that is a great thing. Okay. Now, next thing that we need to do is install QEMU. Right now, to install it is really easy. So let me clear this out, and I'm going to do a sudo, and it's going to be app install QEMU, and it's going to be QEMU KVM. Okay, hit enter, and I'm going to put the password. Now, if I'm saying all this stuff wrong, yeah, I do apologize. No one's perfect. All right, so I do apologize if the stuff is not being said correctly. So it looks like a little bit of gibberish. There it goes. So I already installed it, a couple of things I already installed within the virtual machine. The notes that I will provide for you guys at the end of the show. This stuff, I already installed it because it takes a while. I also installed the Virsh stuff. And I also installed the LXC, which is the Linux container. And the Linux container is the same concept as Windows Docker. Can you believe that? Linux has their own Docker version. Okay, so let's go back inside our machine right here. So our stuff is already installed. And once you install that particular repository inside your machine, if you do a ls and you do user bin and you do is qemu with a star, you're going to give you, this is all of the utilities. These are the binaries that you're able to use. I think the binary that we're going to use right now, see, I think the binary that we're going to use is the system, qemu system, where are you? It's this one over here. This guy right here. Nope. Yeah, we're going to use this one right here to create our virtual machines. Okay, so let me change the settings a little bit. Let me, we're going to optimize the quality because I definitely want to see better. All right, awesome. So let's go back inside our notes. So to create we have to create a disk image within the qemu. There's two types. There's raw and there's qcal2 image. From my understanding, for the research that I've done, is qcal2 is the way to do it. Raw image is the same concept within the VMware world, which is thick provision. Another one is thin provision. This is the one that I'm going to be doing today because this is pretty cool. The space is taken up as it is used. So you tell it 60 gigs. You're not going to be using 60 gigs. That's your cap. Your 60 gig is the cap. But most likely your installation is like 20 gigs. So it's going to be using 20 gigs. But you still have that 40 gig kind of limitation there. But it's not going to say, okay, it's not like a raw image. When you create a raw image, it's going to get, let's say 60 gigs. You're going to get 60 gigs. Those 60 gigs is automatically going to be taken away from your storage, right? With a qcal2, if you tell it 60 gigs within the command prompt when you're creating an image, you're only going to get the amount of space that you used, okay? So hopefully I explained that right. So let's, this is the command, and I'm going to run that command here. So let me zoom in for you guys. And we are going to do, I'm going to do a ls because I want to show you guys I don't have any qcal2 stuff in here because I don't want to lie to you guys. Plus, if I do ls downloads, oops, sorry. Downloads, see there it goes, sorry. Let me clear that out. And if I do ls, within my downloads, I have a crap load of iOS files. I have Windows 7, Windows 10, and a couple of Linux operating systems. So to create an image, a qcal2 image, we're going to do the following. We're going to do is sudo qemu -image create -f is for the format. Now the format is either raw or qcal2. We're going to do a qcal2. And after this, we want to give this a name. So I'm going to give it image, my-image.qcal2. And now we need to give it a size. So it's going to be 60G. 60G would be gigabytes, 60 gigabytes. So we're going to hit enter. Oh, I made a mistake right here. It's not qcal, it's qcal2, and then hit enter. Wait a minute. Sudo image. Oh, spell create wrong too. Yeah. Now hit enter. There it goes. Now, cool. Now, if I go, let's go back and do ls. Where did it create it? Oh, crap. It created within the downloads folder. So let's do that one more time. Let's do that one more time. Excellent. So I do ls. There goes there. I think I created within the downloads folder. So if I do downloads, yep, there goes the QCal. So I'm going to do sudo. I want to remove that out of there real quick. Should not have that there. There goes. Excellent. Clear that out. Awesome. Now, cool. I want to drop it. I want to drop it in the home root. So far within the notes, let's go in our notes. We created our this image, and next thing that we need to do is install our operating system. So right now I'm turning my notes, and we need to install our operating system. So we're gonna run one of the binaries that we installed or installed, and it's gonna be this guy right here, and it's gonna be CD-ROM and the location of your iOS and this image that you created, whatever name you created. Just make sure you add it here. -M is going to be the size, which is memory size. And then you definitely want to enable the KVM. Now, by default, if you do not give it a memory size, it's going to give it 64 megabytes. So definitely give it a memory size, because you don't want to run a virtual machine with 64 megabytes. That's going to definitely suck. Okay, so we are going to go inside our machine. Let's zoom in real quick. And what we are going to do is going to do a sudo, and we're going to do qemu -system -x64. There it goes. And space -cd-rom. And for me, it's going to be download / and wow, which one should I do? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's go to open up a terminal. Zoom in. All right, I don't recall. I don't recall which one. Hit enter. All right, so which one should we use? Let's go for it. Let's why not? Let's do the SW-DVD one. So from here, we are going to do SW_DVD 5_win pro space. So we're going to use this guy right here, and we need to point it to an image. So the image that we created together was called my-image.qcal2, and space -m. M is the memory size, so I'm going to give this virtual machine 2 gigs, and we're going to do a -enable KVM. Okay, so I want to make sure everything is correct. Excellent. We're going to hit enter. Excellent. Now, if everything works well, you're going to get this nice little dialog box, which is over here. And this is the QEMU viewer. And as you can see, it is running Windows. It's booting up inside the iOS. Epic. Awesome. And I'm going to switch the scene, because I want to show you guys that this machine right here is being used to do everything. How fly is that? So let's go back here, and let's go click next. Now the controls, to be honest with you, the controls like really suck. Let me see, you can zoom in a little bit. Like, look at the controls. I have like no type of control towards this. Let me see if I could do old school and do the tab. There it goes. I'm gonna do everything old school and do tab. So right now we're gonna run a virtual machine within Linux. Okay, and I'm gonna hit the space bar to accept, hit tab to hit next. Let me zoom in for you guys to see a little better. I'm gonna hit the arrow key because I have no real mouse control. And from here, I'm gonna do custom advanced. Hit the tab key, hit the tab key again one more time. Make sure it's selected to next, hit enter. And right now it is installing Windows 7 operating system. How fly is that? Now, if by any chance, let's say you close this guy. If I close this guy up, boom, you're like, oh, how the hell are you gonna get back into it? No problem. To get into the VM is pretty simple. So what you want to do is do the following. So let me clear this out for you guys. And you want to do is do a sudo qemu -system -x86. And what you want from here, you don't want to give it a -cd-rom. You don't want to do all that. You don't want to do that because you're not really telling it to go inside the iOS and, you know, reinstall it. From here, you want to say, hey, I want you to run this particular machine. Now, the machine is, or the, not the machine, what you call it, this image is called this image. All right, and dash. From here, this is one of the cool things I like about this. You could change the memory, but I'm going to keep it as 2 gigs. And I'm going to do enable KVM. I think if I hit enter, should load up. It's going to load up. All right, it should load up. I think I have to restart again. Yeah, I think I have to restart again. But that's the way to get into your whatchamacallit, your server in case you close it up. Okay. Now there's different ways to do it. There's other ways that I've learned how to do it without using qemu. And one of the versions that I like to use a lot is using virt, because virt actually gives you a whatchamacallit. It gives you a virtual machine manager, like a physical virtual machine manager. It's pretty cool. So to install virt, this is the command here. You could actually install it. I already installed it within our server. So I'm going to do is sudo app install, and it's going to be virt-manager. And I already installed it, so I shouldn't have no problems with that. Everything's already installed inside this machine. Everything's already installed, so I shouldn't have no problems doing what I need to do. So now to use virt to create a virtual machine, I'm going to be using, let's use the Windows 10 version one. So let's clear this command prompt out of there. And the following command, again, all this stuff is going to be provided in today's Google Docs, so do not worry. So sudo and virt for virtual install -- name is the attribute, and let's give this BTNHD, and -- memory, it's another attribute, and let's give it 2048. -- disk size equals 60. Okay. And then -- is another attribute, is called CD-ROM, and this is going to be the path of our iOS. Yeah, iOS. So this is going to be downloads, and the one that we want is CWDV, right? This is going to be 9 - win. There it goes. Great. Awesome. And the next thing that you need to do is, once you give the path, basic thing that you want to do is hit enter. And once you hit enter, it's installing. It's allocating the QCal. If I zoom out a little bit, there goes our QCal. Cool. So I'm going to switch scenes so you guys can see it is working. There is different ways to create virtual machines within the Linux environment. The way that I'm showing you guys right now using the libvirt library or tools, I like doing it that way. I think it's much easier doing it that way. Now, the virtual machines are actually located within a particular file. And one of the cool things is you have better management dealing with the keyboard and mouse. And I think because I'm doing it through TeamViewer, it's a little sluggish, but it's okay. I'm going to use the old school tab, and I'm going to hit next on that. Let me switch the scene for you guys so you guys can see a little better. And I'm going to hit enter on that. Setup is starting. Awesome. And from my understanding, zoom out of there. I think from my understanding, all your virtual machines are going to be located in a specific path. So I think the path is going to be cd, let me zoom in for you guys to view a little bit, cd var lib live virt images, I think, ls, oh, sorry, sudo ls, and there it goes. So by default, when you create a qcal, because that's what's going to create for you if you're using the libvirt tools, it's going to drop it inside the var libvirt images. When you are creating, I'm going to show you within the notes, when you're doing this right here, when you're giving your virtual machine a name, you could specify the path that you want to drop it into. If you do not specify a path, what's going to happen is going to drop it inside the default location, which is this right here. Okay, cool. So zoom out of that. Let's go back inside machine and let's continue with this. We're going to hit spacebar, zoom in, and center this a little bit. Hit enter, hit the down, hit enter, and next couple of times till the next is selected. And there you go. Our virtual machine is being installed. We're installing Windows 10. I think this is version 1703. Okay. Now, there's a couple of ways that you could modify and control your virtual machines. I already have a window already open. When you start a virtual machine, as you can see right now, it just took charge of the terminal that you have. So you can't really do anything until you close this console. I'm not going to close it. I'm going to let it run. But within this terminal right here, I'm going to type in virsh. So let me clear this out for you guys and do is a virsh. Hit enter. Okay. So when you get into virsh, there's a couple of things that you need that you're able to do. Like we could do a help command. And once you do a help command, this is everything that you could do within the virsh environment. Okay. This command prompt, which changes to virsh pound, allows you to kind of control everything within the virtual machine. Now, within the Linux world, it kind of, they don't call it VMs within the virsh environment. They call it domain. Okay, so within the notes, I gave you guys a breakdown because I don't want to mess around. I want this stuff to finish off. So within here, okay, so you have domain states. So within the prompt of virsh, which is this right here, this guy right here, you see this command, you see how it's changed. If you do a quit, see, it goes back into this. Let's get out of that, and let's just type in virsh again and see how the command prompt changes. Now you're within the virtualization. Virtualization terminal. You're able to do whatever you need to do within these domains. Now, one of the cool things is within the Google Docs, I gave you guys a breakdown of some of the basics. Now, you could do a start domain. This starts or boots a given domain. Again, domain is the name of your virtual machine. That's what they considered a domain. VM is domain within the Linux environment, within the virsh environment. To stop it, you do a command of stop domain. Suspend, again, domain, resume, shut down, blah, blah, blah. Now, some of the basics, suspend, you just give it the name of the VM. For us was BTNHD, so I could actually suspend it, and I could resume it. So from here, because our machine is installing, I'm not going to suspend it or do all that stuff, but I'm going to give you the basic so you guys could take a look. Right now it's on 48%. So let's zoom in. So from here, I'm going to do is list. And it's going to give me a list of all the virtual machines. And I only have one virtual machine running, which is pretty cool. And from here, if you do a list --all, it's still, the --all actually gives you all the domains that are not active and running. Okay. If you do the list command by itself, it's only going to give you the virtual machines, or sorry, the domains that are only running. Okay. If you want to start a machine that's, you know, shut down, you just do start and the name of it. Okay. And it's installing. So I wanted to check something out. I want to see something. So let's do this. Let's do is suspend BTNHD. And it is suspended. And it should not be doing anything. It's going to stay there for 59% because I suspended it. Now, if I think I do is a list, it's paused. If I do is resume BTNHD, again, this is the name of the VM, the name of the domain, in which the domain is the same thing as VM. Hit enter. And if we do list again, it's running. And now it's jumped up to 60. Okay. I think if by any chance, if you let's say we close this, do you want to close the session? I want to say cancel for that. I think within here, let's quit this out, and I think you're able to do virt viewer. Yep, viewer, and the name of the domain. So it'd be BTNHD. Hit enter, and what's that's going to happen is it's going to establish another virt. See, it's going to open again. But I mean, if I close this guy up and I press OK, see the command, the initial command prompt, it's gone. But if I go inside this command prompt right now, I'm gonna zoom in for you guys, and I'm gonna go up key and hit enter, and I'm gonna zoom out. And there goes. This is how you start the virt viewer. This is the reason why I like using the virsh, the libverb tools. I like using this better than the QEMU utilities. So that's still running, and that's awesome. And another cool thing that I like about it, let's go back inside the notes, is we're going on all this. This is how you view it. And this is one of the cool things I love about this. You have a virtual machine manager. Holy moly, a virtual machine manager. And it's super simple to use. So let's go back in here. And I'm going to close this guy up. Let's close this. I got back my command. I could use any one of them. Doesn't matter. Let's use this guy. Let's clear this up. And it's super easy to get your virtual machine manager up. All you're going to do is virt-manager and hit enter. We'll zoom in. Error log, no right access to blah blah blah. Oh, there goes. There goes our virtual machine manager. Bam. How easy, how super is that? I think I might have to do, let me see something. Let me close that up. And let's see if I do sudo virt-manager. Will that make a difference? Because I don't like that error. Yeah, it looks like you have to you might have to do sudo. So let me change those notes for you guys. And blah, blah, blah. That's sudo. Yeah, it's weird to me doing that, but there you go. Definitely need to do sudo virt-manager. If you don't do that, it will still run. I'm really paranoid. I don't like seeing this warning, root error setting. So you have to run this for you won't get that warning. But look at that. Super simple. And all you have to do is just run this particular command. This is all you have to run to get those tools. That's all you need to run within your Linux environment. Again, don't get me wrong, you are able to do all this that I'm doing right now within a server edition. A server edition consists of no desktop, but you do need to configure a desktop interface and set up a VNC server or services within that box so you can remote into it. And if you don't know how to do that within the notes, I took copy and paste notes from the server room episode 32 that we did that. You can play around with that if you're using the server edition. I copped out and I took advantage, and I'm using the desktop version of Linux. Okay. And looks like it shut down. So let's take a closer look on the virtual machine manager. So it's pretty cool. Right now it's saying shut off, and that's okay because I'm able to do what is it, virsh? And within virsh, I'm able to do a list all. nothing is running, but list dash all, it's shut off from. So from here, I am able to do what is it? Start BTN. There it goes. Start it. Looks like it's starting. And from, you don't even need to use the command prompt. I mean, this is the geeky way if you like to do this stuff like this. But if not, you're able to just go in here within the virtual machine manager and just right click on it. You're able to pause it. You're able to shut down. You're able to open it. Let's open it up. And we're going to zoom out. And when you open it up, you can get a nice little window. And it looks like it's doing its thing. How awesome is that? Cool, 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 cool. All right, so what's the next thing within our list? So we take care of that. We're trying to follow today's Google Doc into the T. So one of the cool things is this: if you have used, let's say, VMware Workstation, this is the same thing. To create a virtual machine, to modify a VM, to modify the VM's memory, to do storage. There's two types of storage that you have to take in consideration. One is a cool way to do it, which is pretty quick and easy. This will show up right away. You don't need to restart. And the other one is an IDE bus. You have to restart the virtual machine for it to show up. So I'm going to show you guys the virtual machine memory stuff. So this is still doing its thing. So let's right click on it. And from here, actually, let's go to view. And not view. Connect or edit, sorry. Zoom in. We're going to go to edit. And from edit, we're going to do virtual machine details. And where are they? Zoom out. No. Edit. Preferences. No. Right click. Oh, there it goes. Sorry. So within here, you're going to go to view, and within view, you want to go into details. So you actually have to do, it's strange. Like I can't click on this and then go to view to look at the information. You have to actually be inside the console window to go to view and details. And within details, this is where you can modify the memory. Cool. So right now, the current is 2048, which is 2 gigs, and the max is only 2048, and you can increase it, decrease it on the spot. Another cool thing that you could do is storage. And to add storage, you click on add hardware, and within our add hardware, you're able to do controller, network, input, graphics. I'm going to do a storage. You give it the size that you want. The bus type, again, there's two types that you could take in consideration. There's more that there's more that you could use. But you have IDE and you have USB. The USB is going to automatically show up for you. The IDE is you have to restart the machine for it to show up. Okay. Okay, so we go over that. It's really, really simple. It's just within the VM console. So I'm just gonna make some modifications within the notes. So it's within the VM console. It's not within the virtual machine console. You got to make sure that you are within. Let's close that up. All right. So the console of the virtual machine. This is the console of the virtual machine. You're going to go to view, details, and this is where you go and do all the goodies. Awesome. Let's go back here. Great, still installing. And if you're using like a Linux operating system and you do use a USB bus, again, a USB bus is not going to require a restart on the virtual machine. It's going to show up automatically, but again, you need to configure a file system, a partition, you got to do all that stuff. Again, I copy and paste this stuff from the server room 32, episode 32. From here. So if you guys are using or installing a a Linux environment and you add a storage as a USB bus type, you need to partition it, file system, and all that good stuff. So I just left that stuff for you so you guys could take a look. Now, if you've done snapshots, clones, this is pretty cool with the clones and snapshots. And just like here, I'm looking at my notes, make sure we aren't in track today. View snapshots, and to view the snapshots, because this is still installing, it hasn't really completed, so I'm not going to take a snapshot. You still have to be within the VM console. So let's say within VM console, I'm just making some modifications for you guys for your notes so everything can make sense when you guys are reviewing it, testing stuff out. Okay, to clone your virtual machine, I did a note for you guys. To clone your virtual machine, you need to shut it down before you clone it. You are able to take snapshots just the same way that you do within a VMware environment. But when you're dealing with cloning, you have to shut down the machine because the machine is still doing its thing. Let's just take a closer look. So I'm going to, let's zoom in. Right click, and from here you got clone, you got migrate. Oh, migrate is another cool option too, which I'm going to go over the migrate a little bit. We're not going to do migrating within the show, but I do have notes within the Google Docs explaining it, how this will work. Cloning, again, this machine needs to be shut down for it to clone. I'm going to wait until it's completely done and logged into the machine, and then we'll do a little cloning. But if you want to do snapshots, we could go to view and snapshots. So within snapshots, this is the snapshot manager, right? And I'm gonna zoom in. So you're able to click plus. And once you click plus, this is it. It gives you a nice little picture of what's happening. You give it a name, a nice little description. I'm not gonna do a snapshot right now. I will do the snapshot once this is completed. It's still doing its thing. Awesome. Cool. I would like to see at least one physical machine. I'm gonna go back right now. See? Physical machine. It is a physical machine. Let's see. Hard. Dun dun. All right, it's doing anything. Oh, so if you might say, what are you doing over there, Bernardo? I just type in hard info. I do want to show you guys that this is a type of machine that I'm using right now. So I'm going to switch the scenes for you guys. So hard info, I did a hard info because I installed hard info within this machine. But this is an Intel i7-7567U processor with a clock speed of 3.5. And this is a monster. Look at that resolution supported. This is so awesome. Yeah, so again, we're using a physical machine this time. I'm super happy to have a physical machine rather than doing virtual machines every time. But it looks like our Windows 10 machine is installing. I am super excited. I'm super happy. That is always a good thing. Cool. All right, let's go inside notes. So that's snapshots. I'm going to do a snapshot for you guys and a clone once this is completed. So don't worry about that. You are able to do Autostart virtual machines. The Autostart is pretty cool because let's say your machine, your Linux server reboots, then your virtual machines will restart. So that's a good thing to have. And to make modifications, you definitely go to edit VM details, view details, boot options. So let's go into that. And we need to do a little modifications over here. So if you go inside view, details, and boot options, and then you're able to do start virtual machine on host boot up. So that means if my entire machine right now restarts on me, when it's inside the desktop and I log in, or when it restarts successfully, hopefully, your virtual machine is going to start with the host. So you don't have to get in, you don't have to go in there within the virtual machine manager and right click on them and start them. You could do a auto start. So that's a little nice little option. We got all this crap right here. So let's see. Let's hit yes. Let's just make quick modifications. Hit yes. Hit skip on that. All right. All right, so my physical machine is not really powerful. I only have 8 gigs of memory on it, but the processor itself is pretty strong. But I should get by with 2 gigs. 2 gigs is not that bad. So that's doing its thing. Let's go back on our notes. So you are able to configure it. You're able to do it within command prompt. So those individuals that love to do everything within command prompt, you don't want to go inside the details. You do a virt Autostart BTNHD, whatever your name, the name of your domain. So if I do that, let's get in here, and I'm still within the virt command prompt. All right, I'm still there. So let me zoom in for you guys, and I could do is auto start BTNHD, and there you go. I think because I did that, if I go inside the virtual machine right now, that's snapshots. Let's go here, go and boot options. Oh, that's weird. I set it, but it doesn't check it off. Weird. Okay. Maybe if I close it up and right click on it and open, let's see if it makes the changes. Here doesn't make the changes, but I did the changes within the command prompt, so it's definitely have to work. Okay, so that's booting up. Now if you don't want to do the auto start, you can always do within the virt command, you are able to do auto start again. Do the auto start, the name of the domain, which is the name of the virtual machine, -- disable for the attribute, and it will disable it for you. And it looks like it's installing. Awesome. Cool. Now, migrate VMs between 2 hosts. Now, for this to work successfully, I read online, I did a little bit of research. It looks like to migrate VM hosts, you would need to have a NFS server to share the QCal2 storage files. So this basically means you have two machines. Let me see if we could do a little bit of a chart, real quick, a chart. Okay, let me see. Let's open up Paint real quick. So for this to work properly, you have to have the following. So you have, this is V1, right? You got V2. Both of these machines are Linux servers, right? They're both running virt. You both have virt up and running. And then you have your server. Now this server is NFS. Right, this is an NFS, network file system, a network file services server. When you create your QCal, you want to save that QCal, this QCal2 file inside here. When you migrate over, again, this server is also going to be connected to that. When you migrate this QCal image, right, to this, it's going to be seamless. I think that's the only way that you could do it right now. For what I read online, the way that it works correctly is that you have to have an NFS server housing that QCal2 file, okay? And both machines should have connections to your NFS server. Both of them should have access to wherever you drop that QCal2. And when you're doing the migration over, you're going to choose your second server, and it migrates it over seamlessly. And and it can actually migrate it when the machine is up and running. It's so cool. I tried it at home and it works with no problem. I just didn't have time to set it within the lab at the BTNHD lab, but for it to work, you definitely have to have an NFS server. I might do a offline video for you guys and show you guys that, and I'll post it up on the channel and show you how that works. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna write that down. Take notes. Create, migrate, Linux VM vid. Because I definitely want to show you guys how that works. Okay, so I'm gonna create a offline video for you guys and then upload it in the future. And discard. Awesome. So we're gonna go back here. Got more crap. I don't really. It's like more crap to do. Let's see. Let's domain join instead. Who's going to this? Go BTNHD. Next. We're going to provide it a password. Oops. Damn. No. I did not mean to do that. Domain join. Do that again. BTNHD. Hit next. Give it a password. Next. Give it a password again. Confirm it. Oh, why is it doing that? Ah, come on. Serious? All right, there it goes. And password hint. Password. Awesome. So let it create the first account so I can log in. And we definitely don't want this. I can't stand this. So let's I'm trying to do the tab. Hit no. Yes, it's just crap. The mouse controls suck a lot. I should like turn all this stuff off, but for the hell of it, I'm just gonna accept everything. I just want to get into the machine. Okay, one last step. All right, we're almost done creating our virtual machine. And let's get inside our notes. All right, cool. So another way that you could explore dealing with Linux and housing virtual machines is LXC. Now, LXC is the same concept of Windows Docker, but they call it containers, Linux containers. Containers are like virtual machines in that the software running in them is separate from the rest of the system, but they use the host kernel instead of their own and can have access to the hardware resources. This is pretty cool. Now to install it, this is the command that you need to run to install it. I think I already installed it. So let's go inside the server. This is still doing its thing. I am going to zoom in. I'm going to quit out of this. And let's clear it out. And let's do a sudo apt install. Make sure I type that right. And LXC for Linux container 1. Ah, crap. No. It's my back. 1. Enter. And let's provide the password. I think I already installed it. Should be quick. Yep, I already installed it, so that's great. And if we want to check out the templates, there's a bunch of templates that it provides you. If we do is sudo, the templates are actually located here. Shared LXC templates. Enter. So these are the templates that you could use. You're able to use Gentoo, one of my favorites, Linux operating systems, Fedora, CentOS. You're able to use Ubuntu, and it looks like it has completed. Ooh, how awesome is that? I have no type of control over this, But yeah. So let's get into the Linux containers, and then we go back into this and we do the snapshots and the clone before we end the show, because it's almost over. So now I'll show you guys where the library. This is the stuff that it provides you. Mostly it is Linux platforms, and they do provide you some goodies. Look at that, Arch Linux. I know a lot of you guys love Arch Linux, CentOS, and this is just little small installations. You're able to just use them. So to create a container or Docker, it's really simple. So what we're going to do is a sudo, and we're going to do lxc-create and n for the name, and what we're going to do is we're going to give it container 1, and the type that we're going to be using is we're going to use Ubuntu. Okay, and hit enter. Right now it's downloading, it's retrieving the packages, it's doing what it needs to do. It's going to validate the packages, and I'm going to switch the scene because I want to show you guys that it is a live. If we're not doing, today we're not using the TD340 for a virtual environment. We're using a physical hardware, and I'm super excited that we're using a physical hardware. So I think this is the last thing that we need to do for today's show. I'm super excited. Last show of the year, episode 34. Super excited. Right now it's retrieving the information. Let us do its thing. While that's doing its thing, let's get inside our virtual machine. And I really doubt it if the mouse controls on this suck a lot. But let's do this. Let's go inside. Let's take a snapshot. So I want to show you guys what a snapshot. You could do a snapshot in 2 ways. You could click on this guy right here, Manage VM Snapshots, and then click on plus. And it's going to be a snapshot from here, and we're going to call it stable, right? And we're going to click finish. And it's going to start creating the virtual machine snapshot. And once that's done, that's it. You got a snapshot of your virtual machine. That's pretty simple. And it's the same concept as a VMware workstation. You right click on it to revert back to the snapshot that you want. It's always a good thing. If you're making any modifications or changes, take snapshots. So in case something happens, it doesn't break. You can always go back in time when it's nice and stable. So right now it's creating the virtual machine snapshot. Ooh, that's pretty exciting. This right now is initializing the Linux container Ubuntu, and the snapshot is completed. Awesome. So if you want to clone it, again, like I said, you can't really clone. So let's go back here. Let's go to View and Clone. To clone, you need to shut down the machine. I'm going to do is shut down. I'm going to shut down the machine because I don't really have access to the mouse control. So that's shutting down. Let the machine shut down. So within my notes, like I said, the machine needs to be shut down so you can clone it. So I'm shutting down the machine right now. Once that's done, we could do the clone. Our Ubuntu Linux container or Docker is installing. This is shutting down. The show is almost over. How exciting. Today's notes will be provided at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. Right now, what we are doing is creating our LXC container using this particular template. Once that's done, we can continue. We're going to start it up. We're going to connect to it. We're going to get into the LXC container. We're going to get some information. We're going to view the container. We're going to do all that good stuff to it. Okay, so that's shutting down. That's doing that. Let's switch over and see who is online. See who's up. We have 12 strong individuals. Let's check out the chat. We have MD. How you doing? We have Ben King saying happy birthday to me. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love. We have Rick. He's a member from the Discord. Welcome. Thank you for the happy birthday. We have Ram from Toronto. We have Lucas. Thank you. Tell your son thank you very much. I appreciate it. We have France. I think that's how you pronounce it. Will you start with that things? Happy birthday. Will you start with that things? What do you mean? Will you start with that things? What things are you referring to? And thank you again for the happy birthday. Thank you, MC, for the happy birthday. I appreciate you guys spending some time with me during my birthday. Can't believe that I am working during my birthday. And thank you. We have Deep Man saying happy birthday. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you for the wine. He has one question. Why are you not replying after seeing my messages? I have messages. You have messaged you many times. Which messages? I am very busy, man. I try to reply to you guys as much as I can, but I am so kind of focused with the server room and as well as pushing out as much content within the channel, trying to keep everything up to date. I'm like everywhere. I'm one man. I'm like a one-man shop. So it's really hard for me to just talk to everyone. And I do apologize for that. I try to help everyone out. That's why I tell you guys to join the Discord, because there's other individuals that are well capable to handling whatever questions you guys have. And I have a couple of people that are out there that help me out a lot, and I appreciate that. Thanks, Ron, for the happy birthday. Dude, oh, what Linux are you using? Dude Fox Live, I am using Ubuntu 16. I think I'm using 16.04.3 LTS version. That is the version that I'm running right now. You are able to run the latest one. I like to run the LTS, the long-term services one, but you could use whatever one you want. Okay. Let me double check. Cool. All right. So let's go back into the scene, and our virtual machine is completely shut down. So I'm going to close this up. It looks like our container is still installing. It's unpacking stuff. Once our virtual machine is shut down, we can right click on it and we are able to clone it. And you're going to get this nice little guy. You could change the name. This is going to be the NAT. Get details. You could actually change the NAT to something else. Okay, so this is going to be the new NAT. If not, both machines are going to share the same NAT. So you don't want that. So make sure you hit details so you could change the NAT. Okay, new NAT is going to be that. Okay, and you're able to, this is going to be the storage. It's going to share it, and you can share this with BTNHD. Nothing. I'm going to hit clone, and it's creating a new clone of our virtual machine. It's going to be called BTNHD-clone. Ugh, our original. All right, so it is 2 o'clock, and I said I'm going to be starting another live stream around 3:30ish. I have to get ready for that. Right now, it's creating a virtual machine clone. Our Linux container is still installing. Holy moly, it is still doing its thing, which is okay. I definitely want to finish this off. We need to finish off this show with a good, a good ending, right? So we're definitely going to finish this off. So right now it's doing its thing. So let's switch over back to the comments. And let's check the comments. All right. So we have Dave G. virt-manager pretty much does all this for you. Yes, this is true. This is true. That's what I used. We have, is there only Linux today? Yes, we're only doing Linux for today. We're gonna end the last show with some Linux. I don't want you guys to think that I'm only Windows. We've done so much Windows throughout the show. We gotta give some love to Linux. There's a lot of Linux admins out there. I gotta show love to them. ISO. Thank you for that correction, dude. Fox Live. I just go so fast sometimes. Son of Tex, hey, how you doing? Similar concept as Zen Server and Citrix. This is true. Spinal hard drive running an Intel box. Got Ben So is the Dell PowerEdge R710 compatible with either the 4 gig or 10 gig fiber network card, as I'm looking at upgrading from 1 gig to either a 4 gig or 10 gig fiber card? You should be able to upgrade it. He says, I'm going to be running a web server on either Ethernet or CentOS Linux, and I'm looking into this. I believe you are able to upgrade the PowerEdge R710s to fiber network cards. I think so. Dave G, it migrates everything but the storage. The storage will stay on the NFS server. Thank you for that, Dave G. It looks like we have an individual on the chat that has experience with this. And I love when you guys join and provide information like this, because I'm learning from you guys as well as you guys are learning from me. So thank you for that, Dave G. I appreciate that. We got Ronnie says, what's going on, bro? How you been? Everything's been doing good. How are you doing? Sun and Tech, thank you. Sun and Tech, big thumbs up. He has been a sub for over a year. Appreciate that. Big, huge tech person. Check him out. He has a YouTube channel as well. Thank you, Ronnie, again for the happy birthday. So let's see. Right now, let's go back and switch. And let's zoom in. So right now it is allocating the BTNHD dash clone. So that's cloning. And we're still waiting for our Linux container to install. It is installing all the utilities for it to run properly. I'm already saying the OpenSS, the SSH stuff is running. So it looks like it's working. It's working. I just want it to finalize itself so we could do a little bit playing around before I end the show with you guys. Again, switch back to the chat. We have 15 strong individuals on the live stream today. Thank you so much. We have about 6 people on the Discord. Thank you so much for everyone joining today. And right now, we are in the process of creating a Linux container. I pick Ubuntu. And once we do that, we could do the rest of, we could go over all this stuff, and that would be the end of it. And also, it is cloning the virtual machine in the background, which that is awesome. And right now we're just waiting. Right now we're just waiting. We're looking at paint dry, and I hate that. I hate when that happens. All right, let me zoom in real quick. Awesome. Cool. I wonder if I'm still able to create a virtual machine while this is still happening. That'd be pretty cool. Again, if you guys want, tune in. Hopefully, I was like around 3:30-ish. I'm going to be live streaming again with the Lenovo ThinkStation P910 with the NVIDIA Quadro the P6000 graphics card. Holy moly, that is a beast. This is the type of machine that I would love to have for home or even within my lab. It's a great machine. I'm going to be live streaming with it. I'm not going to have a second machine streaming. Everything is going to be done within this machine. We're going to be doing benchmarking, creating virtual machines, playing games, checking out the specs, doing everything that we're supposed to be doing. We're just going to like really destroy this machine because it has 2 processors, I think 16 cores each, 32 cores, I believe. I think it has 32 gigs. I think I have a terabyte of solid state drive. It is a monster. So definitely check me out 3:30-ish. I should be going live again. So hopefully you guys tune in for that. It looks like we're almost done. Looks like it's finalizing. Like, holy crap, it's taking too long. Let's zoom out of there. Let's check out the chat. I'm gonna chat with you guys until that's done. It's easy to build a web server with Linux container. This is true. Ben Ken, hope everyone happy. Yes, that's another thing. I want to wish everyone a happy new year tomorrow. Wow, already 2018. Hopefully all of you guys stay safe. If you are,
there we go.
We got a subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing. I think it was Bill for a subscribe. Thank you for joining the family. Again, happy new year for all of you guys. I appreciate all the love. I don't know when I'm going to start season 2 for the server room, but it is going to happen. I already had a couple of people within the Discord group, within the YouTube channel, provide a lot of information like, okay, you should touch base on this. I think his damn, I forgot his name. I don't want to ruin it. I think it's Alex from the Discord. He's like, dude, you should push out some VMware stuff. And we have another, he was like, oh, you need to push out some VM stuff. I'm willing to help you out. So I'm definitely going to get with him. He has an awesome home lab. And we have a couple of other people recommend, like System Center Service Manager, Citrix. I'm definitely going to be touching base on Citrix for next year. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to be touching base. Ram says, check your inbox for the MDT 8450 install notes and that I shared. Yeah, I got that information. I'm doing my own video. I already created a video for that. I'm going to be pushing that stuff out for you guys tomorrow. Dealing with MDT 8450. As you know, Microsoft pushed out a new MDT build. So I already have videos for you guys for that. Ram, I already had the videos already lined up. I think when you sent me that, I was already finishing the editing and stuff. I just have to upload it and push it out to you guys. Bill says, thanks. Sorry I came in late. New viewer, subscriber. No worry, Bill. Welcome to the family. New subscriber, welcome again. Everyone that's a new subscriber, welcome. I appreciate the love. I appreciate that you guys are here today. We're ending it. We're close to ending it. I'm going to switch back to this. Damn container is taking forever to finish up, but our clone is completed. Awesome. So that's done. So let me right click on this guy and run it. And yeah, I think it's done. I think my clone was done. It's running right now. So this is the clone that we just created. Again, to create a clone within your virtual machine manager within your Linux environment, you have to shut it down first. Right click on it, hit clone. This is the clone of this guy. I'm going to right click on it and open. And it's going to open up into the Virt viewer. Eventually it's going to open up for me. We have our containers still installing. I want to show you guys it is still working. We are using a physical machine today. I'm super excited to actually use a physical machine. I mean, throughout the entire show, we have been using virtual machines. Looks like the viewer has launched. Let me move the viewer a little bit here. Looks like it's starting up. Beautiful. Damn, this damn Linux container is taking forever. No, I definitely want to finish this with you guys. And damn, I only got one more hour. I have to set up the P910 for you guys and do the live stream for that. That's gonna be a fun one. Let me open this guy up again. What we've done so far is we shut down the original machine that we created together, and we cloned it. So I'm running the clone that we created together. So that's awesome. I want to make sure it's starting up. And I ran this particular command. I'll switch real quick. All right, so what I've done so far is I ran this command. It's taking forever because it's really installing the container for this particular operating system. The next following commands, if you want to start working within that container, is this. You have to do all this. I am waiting for this guy to finish, but look at that. Our clone has started. Beautiful. Okay, I'm able to send a Alt-Control-Delete. And let's log into this Beautiful machine. There it goes. Awesome. Awesome. I'll zoom in for you guys a little bit. Cool. So this is our clone that we created within our original machine that we created. Again, all the notes of for today's show will be provided at the end of the show. I will be placing the link at the bottom of the description, so you guys can click on it, go use it, test it out within your lab environment. There's a good chance you could use it within production. These notes are free. There's no charge for it. You know, take advantage of it. Free is always good, right? Knowledge is always good to have, especially when it's being pushed out for free. So it looks like our clone is up and running. Beautiful, outstanding, awesome. I'm just going to completely shut down this machine. I don't need it to run. Let's just shut it down. I definitely want this to finish. Like, damn, what's going on? Look at this. Like, come on. Come on, baby. This is shutting down. All right, so we shutting down. You should be shutting down. There you go. Shutting down is shut off. That's great. We're gonna close this up. We don't need that anymore. We're not dealing with that anymore. And I am going to exit out of this terminal, because right now we're dealing with this particular terminal. Come on, baby. Come on, finish for me. Come on, finish. I feel like it's going to finish for us. Is it going to finish for us? Is it going to be finished for us? Like, come on. Finish for us. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right, let's go back inside the chat, see if anyone is talking. All right, says Ben says, I don't mind helping out with Citrix, Zen app, and Zen desktop. Awesome. I will contact you, Ben, for that. When it comes down to me creating the material and creating the environment, I would definitely, contact you. We have Glenn says, using Ubuntu 16.04 LTS and Docker containers. I am managing containers with portainers. Cool. Oh, so we have a guru on the chat that has experience with containers and dealing and using it within Linux. Welcome. Thank you so much. I love when you guys join the stream and just provide your knowledge, man, because I read all this stuff and I take it into consideration. I am still learning myself. So for those individuals that have knowledge and experience dealing with this stuff, hey, share it out, man. Share it. I am here to learn. And yes, we're done. All right, boom, we're done. So let's zoom into this. We're completely done. It says the default user is Ubuntu, password is Ubuntu. And what we need to do is let's start our container. So again, all these notes are within today's Google Doc. So I'm going to share it out. So we're going to do a sudo lxc start -n for name and the container, the name of the container. For me, I kept it super simple and I called it container1. So let's hit enter and we're going to provide a password. Boom. So it started. Now we need to get into or connect to our Linux container. So do that is sudo lxc-console parameter of n, the name of the container. Again, I kept it super simple and I called it container. Hit enter. And now container1 login. So remember, it said default users Ubuntu. Hit enter and the password is Ubuntu. Boom. So I'm logged in. Yes. How fly is that? That's super cool. I'm just geeking out right now. So this is how you get into it. And I mean, if you do ls, let me see that. I mean, this is its own little environment. You're not really using this host. Okay. So like I'm saying, like I'm okay. I'm gonna do cd. I'm gonna get out of here. Let's do a clear. And if I do is terminal, and let's do a new terminal, right? See, both terminal commands are different. So if I do a ls, I see all the desktop, the downloads. But now I'm within the Docker system using Ubuntu. If I do ls, I don't see anything. This is separate from the host. Epic awesome. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is awesome. All right. So to get out of it, I believe it's Control A Q. I think that's, am I able to do Control A Q? I don't think I'm able to do Control A Q. So let me zoom out and let's switch to thing. And Control Q. All right, so Control Q is not working for me. Control AQ supposed to disconnect you from that. I think if I do a quit, I'm not able to do a quit. I mean, exit. Okay, out. Awesome. And I'm still logged into this, but I think if I do, what is it, Control AQ? Control AQ would not disconnect me from that. All right, so let's open up another terminal for the time being. Awesome. And another command that you could push out. Another command that you could push out would be getting into the LX container without logging in, which is pretty cool. So you could do a sudo lxc attach the name of the container, and I'm going to put my password. Boom. So I'm in. I'm in without logging in. I attached the container without physically using a login and username. And I think from here, I'm able to do exit, and then I'm back from here. So you could do it both ways. I think I'd rather attach the container, and then I'm able to do everything from here, because then I'm able to just exit out, and then I'm back. From here, I forgot. I thought it was Control AQ to log out of the LXC console. Now, for those individuals that have more experience with me dealing with containers and Linux, let me know if that's correct. Is Control AQ the way to disconnect from the LXC console? Control AQ. Okay, so next thing you want, another command is to get information of the container. To do that, you could do sudo lxc. Oh, let me zoom in. I apologize for that. I was showing you guys like the big screen. Yeah, so what I did, just to show you real quick, sudo lx. So sudo lx. Lx. Come on, I can't type today. C attach and n container. This will get you inside what the container is, whatever name you gave the container. I gave it container 1. Hit enter. This will automatically get you into without logging in, and then you're able to do whatever you need to do. See? How awesome is that? And then you can just type in exit to get out. Now, if you want some information of the container, you could do a sudo lxc-info and n, attribute n, and the name of the container. Again, I kept it super simple and called it container 1. And this is it. Right now it is running. It gives you the PID, the IP address, the CPU usage, the memory usage, everything. Sweet. And the name, container 1. Now, if you do sudo, let me clear this out for you guys. If you do sudo lxc-ls, this gives you the list of all the containers. I only have one container for now. And if you want to stop it, so if I do sudo lxc stop, again, you're using the attribute n and the name of the container. Boom, that stops it. Boom, done. That's it. That stops it. You see at the top right here how it changed? It's because I stopped it. Now, if I do lxinfo, right now it's stopped. It's done. If you want to destroy it, let's say if we want to destroy it, let's destroy this. Sudo lx. I'm just going to destroy it. Why not, right? Just do it. Do it, Bernardo. Just do it. Destroy it. Destroy the container. Boom. Did I spell it right? No, I did not spell it right, Bernardo. Spelling is very important when it deals with command prompts, and that's it. Container's destroyed. If do this, container does not exist because we destroyed it. Awesome, cool. So I am super excited. We went over everything within today's Google Doc. This stuff will be provided for you guys to test out within your lab environment. Play around with it. Destroy your lab environment. Just goof around. I am super happy that we had a couple of people online that has experience with this. They have provided information. Thank you so much. And wow, it is 2:25, so I'm going to end it right here. And the reason why I'm going to end it right here is because I have to start getting ready for the next live stream, which is going to start around 3:30. Hopefully, you guys tune in. That live stream is going to be about the Lenovo ThinkStation P910. I did an unboxing, first impressions. I'm going to do a live stream review with you guys. So again, thank you so much for everything, guys. Happy New Year. If you do not join the next live stream, that's going to start pretty soon. And thank you so much. Thank you for the support. Next year, watch out for the server room. I'm going to keep you guys up to date when that stuff is going to start again. Also, keep an eye out on the Linux Tips Weekly. I'm going to start that pretty soon. I just got to start creating the materials. And again, thank you so much for the passion, the love, the support, the negative and the positive feedback that you guys provide. Just makes me just continue providing more good content with you guys, for you guys. I mean, thank you again, and I catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. All right, so how you end this? Because I always forget how to end this. I think if I press this button and all right, I got it.